All right, y'all. So I'm back. I know y'all said that, my breast was a distraction last video. That's not my problem. Either way, focus. Focus. So now that you discovered that, okay, you may have been a Pickmeisha or a Dusty, this is the solution. How do you heal? How you do it? Easy. Work on you. You are the God. The things and the beliefs and the ideas that people told you, whether it be your mother, your closest people to you that have projected onto you, their opinions do not control your life or outcome or reality. I'm serious. That's a lot of outside noise going on. Anyway, but like I was saying, it's very easy to fall into the 3D, to really think that it's really real, because everybody wants to experience unconditional love, right? Everybody wants to experience instant gratification, instant manifestation, unconditional love, regardless of their sins, transgressions, or beliefs about themselves. Everybody wants unconditional love. The only person who can give you unconditional love is yourself or your pet. Look me in my eye. So you gotta understand that the people who raised you or who are responsible for you are also human. They are imperfect. And if you see them as a God, their opinion of you will create your reality. I'm here to tell you to take that power back. Do not give anyone who's walking around, who has flesh like you, who's in 3D like you, as far as consciousness, that power, because then you deem yourself unworthy if they deem you as unworthy. And their deeming you a projection of you has nothing to do with you personally, which is why I recommend the 4 Laws, or I forgot what that book is called. I'm gonna get it for y'all. Either way, I recommend that book. Do not take people's projections personally. And that's just with anyone who you love, who you adore, it's literally about no one's better than you and you're not better than anyone. If you want to go that route. But don't put anyone on a pedestal, especially if they're in the flesh. You can touch them, see them, sense them. They're not worth that type of power and magnification, Even Christ said that, he was just like, I am a flesh, but he's going to teach you the ways of Christ's mind, which is knowing instant manifestation and knowing that you are worthy of all you desire, and safety and love and compassion and support, regardless of what your past may have been or what beliefs are currently being projected on you. It's all a lie. Laugh at it. This is my advice for especially younger people who cannot control their environment. And I know I'm in a different setting. I'm probably going to change it up every time. We don't know. I'm a Gemini. Keep you on your toes. But if you're younger, I know it's very easier said than done to be like, oh, ignore it. Confirmation. However, you know deep down that you don't respect these people's opinion. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it 100 right now, right? 100. You know deep down that these people who are not supportive, not loving you the way that you want to be loved, it's not for you, right? You hear that? I don't know what knocking that is or where that came from. That's confirmation. So why, excuse me, I got people are like, younger men or something. Younger men, anyway, that's a whole nother topic. They are persistent. But, see, that was trying to be a distraction. But either way, if you're younger, these people don't support you, they're haters, your youth, your wealth, your whatever your drive, basically your new reality. Because that's 9 times out of 10 people are jealous of the fact that you're literally a new reality. A lot of people are jealous of youth because it's a new reality, a new story, right? A lot of people don't know that they can recreate their reality, redo their story, redo their beliefs, all that good stuff. Like I said, go to Master Manifestors. Olivia is the best. Far as rewriting your self-concept, what's projected onto you, your story, how you think of yourself, really sitting down with yourself and be like, do I really believe I'm a loser? I'm worthless. I don't deserve all this because of so-and-so said it, or so-and-so treated me that way, or a group of people treated me that way. It's very hard because now as a child, unconsciously, you constantly reproduce that reality. So then, therefore, everyone is against you, or whatever the story is, you just want to get rid of that. Because now you're older, right? Especially when your frontal lobe develops as a woman after 25, God willing, or whoever you believe in, Allah, whoever you believe in, your creator is willing that you essentially develop mentally, right? Because if you don't develop mentally, you're stagnant. And I know it wasn't your fault, right? It wasn't your fault that people did this to you, but it is your responsibility to correct that and to not heal that, but in the sense of live a life where your nervous system feels so safe. You can attract millions. You could be yourself. Like, this is me literally practicing that right now with telling you this and uploading this video because I've been through it. So, like, a lot of people who are talking about this and who have really good advice on it, trust me, they've been through it, if not something deeper and darker. Of course, that they wouldn't share because I don't know you guys personally yet. But that's just to say that I love you guys already. And thank you for subscribing and listening and taking my advice in a sense of, because we're all human, right? We're all one in a sense. And I'm not saying that to disrespect anybody's beliefs or, but in a sense that we're all a creator's children. So I want to definitely encourage you. God, people are just they're like hitting me up. So I just definitely want to encourage you to not give power to people who are powerless. And they may seem powerful within their career, within their family, or within their reputation. But trust me, spiritually, no bueno. No bueno. And at the end of the day, no one makes it out of here alive, right? Like, no one makes it out of here alive. And I don't want you to give your power away so much that you become angry and hard when life is such a playground that you create to make soft. And you could rewrite. And this doesn't mean, oh, you just forgive them. I'm not saying going out and forgive people who have done you the dirtiest, who have betrayed you to the deepest, who have cut you over and over again and knew better and still chose that choice. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is no longer give that story attention, point blank, period. And that doesn't mean going back around them and acting as if like nothing happened or gaslighting yourself. No, that's not what I'm saying. Protect yourself and protect your nervous system, because at the end of the day, that's what people are literally doing, especially nowadays. In the 3D forest recession, all that's going on, people are focused on self-preservation. And I encourage people who have been betrayed within their youth, who have been betrayed within family, friends, whatever type of group, is to go into self-preservation. And you know what that means. You know that doesn't mean doing people wrong and scamming people and betraying people. You know that because you know what that feels like. And nobody wants, you just have a soul in a sense of for others. You have a sense for others is what I like to call it. And you're empathetic. You're an empath. So it's like myself. So it's like we think about others, even as simple as being on the road driving in traffic. Like, you know what I'm saying? Little things like that. it's practices that come. And I just want to let you know and remind you that this is a journey, right? This is a marathon, regardless. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle, regardless of how you feel about him. The statement is true. It's not about the messenger, it's about the message. If you was to heal overnight, do you think you would still be here to experience life? It's like a video game in a sense of your experience in life in a human form versus in a God form, you know, in a sense of your creator's form where everything was instant and everything is, you know, God said let there be light and there was light, you know, versus God said let there be light and then an idea came to someone's head and was like, you know what, it's dark up in this house, we need to create some type of electricity. And then Thomas Jefferson, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's a whole process. And I say this to say that the experience is hard and no person has to go through trauma in order to be rewarded. I'm gonna say that again. You do not have to go through trauma in order to be rewarded. I'm tapping because of, you know, tapping. So tap, guys, tap yourself. Regardless of what people have told you, what you've experienced, none of that matters anymore. If you feel as if like you don't have control over your life right now because you're young, do not give up. I'm letting you know now. Do not give up. Don't give in, because that's what people want. People want you to give up on yourself, your dreams, your hopes, your desires, the curse you're breaking. They want you to give up on that. And it's so easy. As someone who has experienced death and thought about death a lot, okay, I'm just gonna say that. And don't give up. It's so easy to like kind of quit. And I'm a type of person where maybe it's just the person I am. It's kind of like if somebody's like, you know, lay down, I'm gonna stand up. And when you're in that mode of the emotions that are really heavy of telling you to lay down, kind of rebel against that, especially if you're a natural rebellion. Like, I'm a natural rebellious person, so I trained my ego to work for me versus against me. And so when I'm like, okay, no, I don't want to do this, something that's helpful, I rebel against it, because then if not, it's self-sabotaging. And when you're so used to be put in situations where you're not supported and people have self-sabotage or ruined or emotionally abused or mentally abused, confirmation, a moment or an event or just a time in your life that was so sacred, precious to you, you tend to want to do that to yourself, you know? And it's very easy to do that. And I don't want you to do that, because that's not harming them. And when I learned this, when I learned that me harming myself, me self-sabotaging, me not sharing my story, me not, in a sense, doing what I was supposed to do to make myself happy, when I realized that wasn't hurting anyone but me, it's kind of like a thing, like, oh, wait, how many years did I waste trying to get justice? And so, you know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, you can get justice. Hold on, where is it at? You can get justice. But that's a whole nother story. Tales and glory about that. And that's another thing too. Living life to satisfy your mental. No, I'm not saying go out there and hurt people, harm people, and take and just be a vile, malevolent creature energy. No. I'm saying far as if you know you don't feel like jumping up to go take someone somewhere, don't. If you know that you don't, if you know it's not good for you, don't do it. because then that's showing your creator and your angels that you're okay with doing things that aren't good for you. Confirmation. Thank you, Thunder. That's my baby's name. Thunder Wanda. Anyway, you got this. Like, this is, take a day off. Like, don't scroll. Don't compare yourself. Don't think it's something you need to do. Just be for a day, and just be in receiving mode and understand that this is a journey. Everyone's on a different timeline. You're young. It doesn't matter how old you think you are. You're young to your creator, So you're young to the earth. You're young to the planet that you live on, so I just wouldn't waste your time that you have in this realm, in this consciousness that I'm so grateful for, that you and I are here to share with each other, on past realities and past stories. I'd rather you give that power and attention to what you want and your desires, like, just something little, going to WrestleMania, like, what I'm saying? Like think about things like that. And like I said, it's a lot harder said than done. And I'm not saying bury your feelings and just ignore it, right? Don't gaslight yourself, but understand and observe it and let it pass. Let it pass. Because you are human, and maybe there's a deep sense of your God self before you were born, right? And that's what death feels like. I feel like, death feels like the year before you were born. You felt nothing. Either way, it's another story, another glory, like I said. And I feel as if, like, when you really look at it, it's like, yeah, everybody has their story, but everybody doesn't know that they can change it and that they can recalibrate, especially if you've been betrayed in the most deepest, darkest cuts, wounds. For someone I'm not religious, I'm not going to sit here and be like, and glory to God, and throw a Bible at your face. I'm not a Bible thumper. I believe in, Christ consciousness. And for those who know, I definitely believe in Christ consciousness, which is I am, and you are. You are not what people tell you. You are what you think you are, which is I am. And I am grateful for your time, for spending this time with me, for sitting with me, for hearing this message. And I'm going to encourage you to keep glowing, keep growing. And excuse my language. Now, I'm not even going to curse. I'm not going to do that on YouTube. I'm not going to do that. But a middle finger to the principles and principalities that be, to the system in place that's to take you down, that use people closest to you, things that are against you in an evil eye. Send it back, rubber band it, rubber band man, like rubber band it back. Protect yourself, keep yourself covered, because at the end of the day, unconditional love will only come from you. Yes, if you have family and grandma you could call on for a quick prayer, that's good, but also learn that prayer. You get what I'm saying? So you can pass it on, and so on and so forth. So your bloodline is protected. It's little things like that you really want to, you have to protect yourself, especially if you've been unprotected since a child, spiritually, because your parents or grandparents weren't given tools and resources. And this is what forgiveness comes in, right? Not a lot of people are given the gift of tools and resources to the 5D realm, or that wisdom into the 5D realm, if they weren't presented. They either were presented with it and just rejected it and didn't take it on, or they were presented it and kept it a secret, you know what I'm saying, and didn't practice it or apply it. Versus me, thank God my ancestors approached me, and when I do have children, I'm going to practice it and apply it as I already am. Like, you know, some people carry, you know, oil around, holy oil, or, you know, they say I'm covered in the blood of Jesus. However they say, you know what I'm saying? Whatever belief that they carry with them, I can say that sometimes it's not practiced enough, and may that be slipped in. Like, you have to, I know you have to constantly change up your protection in a sense. You can't always use the same protection, because if you're going against the same enemy, they're going to know your moves, right? It's like football, basketball, like players study the play. Same, I feel as if like those spirits or energies that are against you, or that are against children, or, you know what I'm saying? They study your play, you know? And if your family doesn't have a plan in play, you're unprotected. Your defense is not up, offense is always going to score on you. And that's just putting it in layman's term. So forgive your parents, forgive your people around you for not having the resources or the tools, or accepting the wisdom from the 5D to put those places in place to protect you from betrayal. And now that you're in tune, you're untapped, based on you being in alignment with this video, because I'm not going to put anything on, I'm just going to put the description. And this is really for my subscribers, for my little family that I have right now. I won't say little, it's my big family. I know I have like 31 subscribers. Woo-hoo! I'm so excited. So make sure now you put that in place for yourself. So then when things happen, is no longer the past's fault. All right, my camera died. Spirit said, get to the point. My point is, don't, if a specific gender or race and gender has traumatized you, go towards that community for healing. Simple as that. Go towards that community for healing. Do your inner work. You know, for instance, I'll give you an example. If your mom traumatized you, or betrayed you, or your dad betrayed you, and now you don't want to date a certain type of race or a certain type of gender, seek group support with other people as well that have been through the same thing that you have been, because community is very important. Healing shouldn't happen in isolation whatsoever. But I learned that going towards the community that traumatized you, it's a certain type of healing towards that, you know, and you have to separate the group of people, the gender of people, or the type of person or character from the person who actually harmed you. Because not everybody that looks like that, not everybody that carries themselves like that is a threat to you. And that's what you have to inside do the work of, which is, you know, for instance, it could be far as even like a dog, you know, being attacked by a dog, right? And a lot of people who are afraid of dogs have really terrible, tragic stories, or just traumatizing stories with dogs. And I'm not saying going to the dog park and laying on the ground, but what I'm saying is getting in support groups that have and around other people that have similar situations or stories as you, so you won't feel so isolated, so you won't feel so weird, so you won't feel like you're unworthy, because then it's just kind of like, okay, this is kind of normal, so I'm not alone in this. And you feel, I'm not saying good about it, but in a sense of like, you're not the first person to go through it, and you're not going to be the last, unfortunately. And that gives you some type of comfort. And I'm not saying to go and trauma bond with people. Don't do that. Don't do that. What I am saying is prove to yourself that you love yourself, you trust yourself, you value yourself, and you honor yourself. Whatever that may look like, whatever that may be, as long as it's for the good of all and no harm to others as far as physically. If boundaries hurt people emotionally, that's a them problem, not a you problem. So I say this to say, to take your power back, change your story, change the idea of life now. And if you have no control over your current circumstances, keep persisting. Go to Master Manifestors YouTube, Olivia Grace. She's amazing. She will have way more techniques. I'm not a life coach. I'm just experiencing life, as a 20 years old. So, and I know what it feels like to be in the depths of hell mentally, and the steps to rise up to heaven, and achieve that Christ consciousness. And I'm not there yet. Like I said, it's a marathon and a journey. However, I do know now that the power of my reality and the shape of my world does not rely on projections of others' beliefs of me. It's only my own beliefs of myself and what I see for myself. And as long as I don't gaslight myself, I know my own reality, whether others believe it or not, want to believe it or not, I could care less. And neither should you, because no one gets out of this realm alive, if that makes sense. So I congratulate you on stepping into this new heaven, putting a big middle finger up to the past and the projections and beliefs and the hell that you had yourself in mentally, and running and jumping off the cliff into heaven of peace and not giving a F about anyone thinks about you, how you move. And oh yeah, one last thing I want to say. It's very easy to, when you feel unsafe within yourself, to attach to a caricature or a character story that is close to you that seems to have a safe story to you. And you lose your own identity. And I not condemn you. Oh my gosh. I congratulate you for now being excited to be your own self, to write your own story, to not follow someone else's history, or path, or story, or scenes in life, and just rephrase it, or however, redo it visually, and then it applies to your own reality. I commend you for stepping into your own identity, your own movie, basically your own self, your highest self, and aligning with your higher self, which is God, your creator, the person who allows you to wake up and be conscious in this realm every day. I commend you for that, and I'm sorry for the past and things that have happened, but it hasn't. Or, no, I won't say it hasn't. It has happened, but that's no longer something that controls you or have power. You give a fuck. Okay? They betrayed me, yeah. That's them. You gotta remember, people who have betrayed you, whether they believe it or not, some people don't believe in karma. Some people don't believe in answering on Judgment Day. You shouldn't stop living your life waiting or wishing for a sign of justice, or just even the knowing that on Judgment Day they have to answer to their God, right? Vengeance is mine. You get what I'm saying? Like, do what you have to do to justify yourself mentally, where that, especially if you were betrayed in the deepest way by a stranger, a family member, intimately, put somebody in a jar, heck, go to the graveyard, do what you gotta do to mentally relieve yourself of that heartbreak. And then once you do that, once you satisfy your flesh, right, because you're flesh and soul, fly and be free. I love you. I'll be back for more, to talk more stuff, talk more ish. And I hope that, this is going to resonate with you regardless, And we locked in, me and you, shorty. Love you forever. Bye.